Hello, Fishbowl friends, and welcome to a pre-season episode of He's Always Watching Australia. Yes, the OG reality show that started it all is coming home in its original format in a matter of days. And we have a few things to talk about in this episode because we've finally seen the house, we have a brand new eye, and we've seen the diary room, so let's get into it. Yes, in case you're wondering, He's Always Watching will be covering the Australian reboot of Big Brother because you didn't think I'd leave out my home territory, did you? This Aussie will always have his eye on the UK. But sometimes we turn it homeward as well. So, let's get into this house, shall we? If I had to summarise it in one very short sentence, it would be Big Brother UK's summer holiday home, if that makes sense. But I also don't think it is that simple, because I think this house actually has a lot of different overseas influences, but it's been given like a summer beach home chic kind of moment, like almost like a summer holiday vibe. So that's where the original kind of name that I gave it came from. And even in the trailers we've seen with Mel Tracina, the brand new host of Big Brother, you get kind of like holiday chic through those as well. So I really think they're leaning into the summer of it all. And the more I've sat and thought about the house after it was revealed earlier this evening, Australian time, spoiler alert, time zones, wibbly wobbly, all that fun stuff, I was like, oh, actually this works. I don't quite know what I was expecting, but it wasn't necessarily what we've received. But having said that, I don't hate it. I do think it is potentially a little rushed when you look at some of the finishing going around, but they've had to pull things together incredibly quickly with the hold back the previous network had on the show. And so we have a house. It'll work. They have time to polish it when we have a second season, when this goes well, is the way I'm choosing to look at it, because I think if you don't, you go a little bit round the bend. And to be honest, the main thing about this show will always be the housemates. So sure, the environment they're in does matter in terms of what it can put them through and all of that kind of fun stuff. But at the end of the day, the housemates are what matters. And we haven't met that very crucial piece of the puzzle yet, unfortunately. But we don't have long to wait because it's only, like 4 days? Not even 4 days as I'm recording this. It's going to be crazy. I'm still kind of stunned that it's even coming back. But before we move on to the weird timeline of eyes we have, I want to talk about the diary room in particular, because I've seen a lot of discourse this evening about the diary room, and I don't hate it. Here's my perspective on the diary room. It's giving Big Brother UK mixed with the era of which we do not speak here, Channel 7, and also Secret Story France. Secret Story, and you go and look this up because I swear, they had this like cloud couch in one of their seasons, and it's really giving me that with the way it's up on this pedestal with the arches behind it. I'm really seeing Secret Story. So I'm not mad at this chair at all. Initially, I was a little underwhelmed just because Australian diary room chairs before the era of which we do not speak were normally these big, almost egg-shaped, cocoon-like chairs in various forms, because they kind of evolved into that as time went on. And this is definitely not that. Although I will say it does look much more all-consuming when you see some of the TikToks that are going around. So I highly recommend taking a look at that. Plus, you can get a much better look at pretty much all of this house Weirdly, aside from the garden, we've seen a lot less of the garden than we have the interior of the house. And I wonder if that's deliberate, but I would actually like some still photos of this house. It's really bugging me that all we've got is a 30-second, 45-second YouTube short or Instagram reel. Like, I need some still photos so that I can do for you like I did with the UK and sit down and analyze it. If I had to give you a favorite space from the small slither we've seen, I really like the raised up seating area that kind of looks like they're in a bird cage with the fish. I'm here for that. That looks kind of cool. I will say I really don't like the dining table though. It reminds me of a cheaper version of the UK dining table, and it also kind of reminds me of a surfboard. So there you go. That is my initial impressions on the house. But before I let you go, we have to talk about the eyes. Now, you may say, Ross, what do you mean? Well, friends, what I mean is the fact that we have now two different versions of the eye that they are using in tandem. One, which we've seen for months, that is very much the OG early 2000s human eye, and it's all blue and digital and da. And then we have this old meets new with the traditional global template eye shape, but then the OG human eyes behind it, which looks great in the like entrance tunnel, but to me doesn't have the same kind of pull that the OG eye alone has on screen. But they're using them in tandem. It's really strange. I don't get it. It's probably to keep us talking. I'm aware of that. But pick an eye and run with it, please. Your branding's all over the place, and as someone who loves a good branding exercise, it kind of hurts my brain. I'm just going to be honest. So I kind of hope they pick and choose, because the reason why I say that in particular is Dreamworld. All the branding at Dreamworld is that original, it's the 2.0 version of that original eye where it's darker and it's got the global eye template over the top. So we have like 3 concurrent versions of the eye running around at the moment, and it's doing my head in. I can't do it. The inconsistency does not sit well with somebody who likes details. Choose an eye and stick with it. Do not change it 2 weeks out from launch, unless it's like not even 2 weeks, a week out from launch. And unless it's tied to a twist that we don't know about, and maybe it is tied to a twist that we don't know about. But other than that, I'm like, this is strange. And I have to be honest with you, that is probably my only critique of this entire marketing campaign. I am so on board with this marketing campaign thus far. They have done a stellar job. And I'm very curious to see how this reboot goes. So we will be following along here at He's Always Watching. So that means essentially you're going to have brand new current Big Brother all the way up until Christmas. Potentially, depending on when we finish. Because guess what? We don't know. So, oh boy. We are going to have so much more to talk about, because we also have the finale of UK next week as well. So there's going to be an overlap here. But I wanted to come in and talk to you about the house and about the mountain of eyes and promotional material we've seen, because I felt like we needed to before we got into the season proper. One final thing to mention of note is Meltracina. In all of the adverts we've seen, she is jumping off the screen with personality and joy, and I'm really excited to see what she brings as host of this show, because I feel like her energy is going to be a real shot up the arm, and I think it's going to be great to watch. But there you go. That is kind of a pre-season wrap. We haven't really heard too much about what they have planned for this season, although we do know from the new EP in a couple of interviews in the press, there are some surprises up the sleeve. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, aren't we? There was a very odd Media Week article that had Big Brother up in drag, if you will, because they added makeup to the original logo, because the EP was mentioning talk of Big Sister reappearing. So that raised my eyebrows, I'll tell you that much. But I am very curious to see what they do here. So we will be covering this over here at He's Always Watching. So I hope you're ready for that, because I sure am. And with that, Fishbowl friends, I shall leave you for now. But we don't have that long to wait, because it is nearly November 9. We are nearly meeting these housemates. I will see you very, very soon. In the meantime, though, remember, Big Brother's not the only one who's always watching. See you soon.